On February 25th, the Idaho State Legislature Senate State Affairs Committee held a hearing on House Bill 117, also known as the State Sovereignty or Nullification Bill. This legislation was written in direct response to what many Idahoans and in fact Americans believe to be an unconstitutional law. In fact, the Idaho House of Representatives also believes that the National Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, passed by Congress in 2010 is bad law. The House voted 49-20 to pass House Bill 117. After many hours of testimony in a packed auditorium with an overwhelming majority of testimony for the legislation, the Senate State Affairs Committee voted against House Bill 117 with only 2 voting in favor. With me today is Representative Vito Barbieri, who is the sponsor of House Bill 117. He comes from District 3, up by the Coeur d'Alene area,
Yes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dale Pearce, who is the area coordinator for the John Birch Society. Vito, what were your thoughts when you saw what was going on?
Well, which stage are we talking about?
During the hearing process.
During the Senate hearing process? Well, during the Senate hearing process, it was pretty obvious that we didn't really have the ear of the majority of those in the committee. They didn't seem to really be paying that much attention to those that were speaking. So I felt like from their body language that it wasn't real positive. When we went into the committee, we thought we might have 3 or 4 votes, and the question was, could we get that 5th vote? But as the first day progressed, it was pretty clear to me that it wasn't going to be too successful.
Well, you know, there were 9 written pages of people that had signed up to testify, and in fact, they ran out of time, and there were people that weren't allowed to testify because they came in late. But out of the hours of testimony in those 9 pages, there was only 1 person who actually voted, testified against the bill. There were professionals, there were doctors, there were nurses, there were businessmen who said this is going to mean that I can't hire some of the people that I wanted to expand my business, which means those were jobs that are not going to be filled.
I was very impressed with the clarity that those that spoke and the narrowness of the concerns that they have. I was very impressed with everyone that spoke and how well they articulated their particular concerns, their personal concerns with this overreaching, onerous federal bill.
Well, they were very articulate, very well-spoken, soft-spoken folks. Quite a few of them stayed after, and there were a lot of expressions of people feeling dismay, felt that some of the senators, very frustrated, and in fact wished that they had called for a roll call vote so that they could have it in print as to how they voted. We do know that Senator Russ Fulcher, who moved that the bill go to the Senate floor with a due pass, and Senator Chuck Winder, who seconded the motion with the 2 affirmative votes. So it was a pretty discouraging day for a lot of people who filled that room.
That bill, as it went through the House, really gave a lot of people hope that there was some remedy to something they were very concerned about. And as a matter of fact, I spoke to one person on the plane home when I went home for the weekend, and she was very disappointed, just like it's the same old story, and we had so much hope, and now it's been dashed. And so it was very disappointing, and because there was hope, there was the fact that we were able to successfully move it from the House to the Senate gave a lot of people hope, and I think that was something that, I don't know, exacerbated the concern after that final vote.
Well, now, as the sponsor, the original sponsor in the House, you came to this, as I said earlier, was in direct response to what what most people call the Obamacare, but what we know as the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. And yet many doctors are saying it's going to be just the opposite in terms of it being affordable.
And the insurance. I mean, we've seen insurance agents have lost some of their income because of the way it calculates. The insurance companies have to start calculating their funds, and so it's the insurance agents, and of course our own insurance Department of Insurance is actively working to set up these exchanges.
I spoke to one doctor who said, and in fact I saw a YouTube prior to coming here by another doctor, who the concern by doctors is that they're going to start rationing health care, and that there will be some people, in fact, that may be out in terms of getting any care at all.
Well, that's just common sense. I mean, when when you have a limited resource such as health care, and you have a single source for delivering that, it's only common sense that it's going to be rationed. And these death panels or whatever you want to, it's only common sense. And that's what's missing from this entire legislation is common sense. It's the nanny state gone wild on steroids.
My husband was reading, some people are saying, well, look at Canada, they're doing great with their socialized medicine. And my husband did some research and he said, oh yeah, he said, did you know that if you're pregnant, there's just a 13-month waiting list. He says all you have to do is rewrite legislation for the gestation period to be adjusted, and we're fine.
Oh my.
Now, Dale, your organization has done a lot of study on the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, and you've got some information that talks about, this was nearly a 2,000-page bill. Nancy Pelosi said we have to pass it so we can...
It was over 2,000.
Yeah, well, by the time it got finished, I guess it was closer to that. But the bottom line was they didn't have a chance to read it. Pelosi said they had to pass it so they could find out what was in it.
And a lack of common sense.
And you've done some research on this.
Is Congress itself did a schematic on all the new agencies, the commissions that were created by this. 159 new commissions.
I don't know if the camera can get zoom in on this, but
let me see if you can get that.
how much is that?
There you go.
Does that represent the 159 agencies?
No, it doesn't. This was made by Congress. This only represents 30% of the 159.
Oh,
and of course, Idaho got word on this and found out that this one right here is insurance providers that you had to buy. As Americans, we have to buy this insurance provider thing. So last year, Idaho passed the, what is it called?
The Healthcare Protection
Freedom.
Act?
Yes,
Yeah.
Freedom Healthcare Protection Act. And so that was to challenge this one out of all 159. So now we understand that these senators that voted against this bill in the State Affairs Committee are saying, well, we want to wait until this comes out before the Supreme Court because we think we're going to win it before the Supreme Court. They're going to win, if they win anything at all, they're going to win 1 out of 159. Now this shows the patient over here, and over here is the physician. And we know the government is here to help you. But what is exciting about this is up here at this particular square, IRS, they hired 15,000 new IRS agents as enablers and enforcers of Obamacare on us.
Enablers?
Enablers. Enable us to get... So
Frightening.
here, government is always here to help you.
Well, when we come back, let's talk about the concern that was voiced by some of the senators in terms of dollars lost to the state of Idaho if we had passed 117. We'll be right back.